Hello, I'm Mary Yanez, Director of the Senior Adult Program at the El Paso Community College. And this is Mature Living. We have a very special show planned for you today. We're going to take you down memory lane and remembering the early days of Mature Living when we started recording back in 1991 and throughout almost 4 decades. And so we have a special interview that we want to share. In 1997, we interviewed Alberto Escamiila, a renowned artist here in El Paso. And I know you'll enjoy this interview. This was some years ago, as you can imagine, and we hope you enjoy it.
Thank you for staying with us for the second part of our show. We have another artist to introduce to you, an El Pasoan. Well, maybe not so. Well, he's been here a long, long time, so maybe he is. Maybe he'll accept being called an El Pasoan. But he's going to tell us where he's from. His name is Alberto Escamiila. He attended UTEP. He played sports for El Paso. But the real interesting story is how he became an artist and how he felt this urge and this wonderful calling, I guess you could say, for a mission in life to be an artist. He has a very interesting story. He also teaches for Father Guillermo art students, and they're going to have a beautiful exhibit coming up, and we want to tell you about them. So we're going to be talking about students, we're going to be talking about teachers, and we're going to meet Alberto Escamiila. Now, one of the prevalent things and things that I remember you for is the zarzuela programs, the beautiful posters de la zarzuela that I've been collecting and that I've been sharing with my children because they live in Dallas and in Austin. So when they receive something from El Paso, it's kind of neat. So those are real classics. Just tell me briefly about the designs for the zarzuela before we get into your story.
Well, I've been doing it for the last 6 years. And what I do, once they choose the zarzuela that's going to be performed, months before they give me a cassette, and I listen to the music. And once I choose a certain part of the music that inspires me, then I do the composition. Oh,
and they've been beautiful. And we don't have one to show, but maybe next time we'll invite you, we'll show all 6. Because I'm sure you have the whole...
it's a collector's now.
It is. And I'm sure it's worth a lot of money.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Escamilla, you also are going to be, you were the first artist that was really shown at the
Camino Real Hotel?
Yes.
3 years ago this November.
Is that
yes.
So? And Maury Schwartz invited you and called you. How did that come about?
Well, again, back to the zarzuela.
Oh, okay, really?
She happened to be at the zarzuela performance, and she saw my work, and she said, I would like to meet you. I would like to talk to you, get to know you. And from there, we had to this day, a beautiful relationship.
And she's that way, isn't she? Because she did the same thing to me.
Yes.
She's a wonderful
for the especially her intentions for the arts in El Paso is something else. Yes. And we talked, and she told me her plans at the time of having an exhibit of an artist once a month at the Camino Real. And I said, well, let me tell you, I said, I agree with you 100% because being an artist for the last 18 years, a professional artist, it's hard to find a place to exhibit.
Yeah, in El Paso.
In El Paso, it is very hard. From my experience, I told her I had to rent the embassy suite patio lobby to show my work. Other than that, I couldn't find a place to exhibit. Now, there would be another story why. And we would talk later if you want to, the reasons. And most of the reason has to do with my style of painting that I paint. It's very unfamiliar to the Southwest.
Yes. And we're going to get to see some of your paintings.
Yes, and this is what inspired Mrs. Schwartz. And so she said, these are my plans for a show. And she said, and I would like for you to be the first one.
Oh, okay. That's wonderful.
So I said, I'll be more than glad. So
let's talk a little bit about your background. You're from where? From some part in Texas?
Sanderson,
Texas.
East Texas.
And how did you come to El Paso?
I came here in 1962 on a baseball scholarship. You had to play 2 sports at the time.
Yes. And at the time, who was coaching?
Don Haskins.
Don, yes.
And Andy Cohen was a baseball.
I'll be Don.
And I came here, I played sports, but art had always been in, since a little boy, going to San Antonio, Houston. I used to see the arts. I used to love the classical music, and then also the Tejano music back then.
That was in your heart.
Which I loved music, period. But that classical music, I used to say, what is that beautiful music? I had no idea.
Wow.
And but I went to school, and I excel in sports.
Yes.
Nothing else to do in a small town.
You even played some professional baseball?
Yes. When I came here in basketball, like, as I said, and baseball. And prior to my senior year, I played a summer, what they call a semi-pro with the St. Louis Cardinals.
I'll be darned.
And the agent, Willie Banner, passed away during that time. And that kind of set my course to come to UTEP. Otherwise, I would have, I don't know what God would have plans, but nevertheless,
Yes.
with him gone and the scholarship being open, so I came to Texas Western.
So that was when you kind of sparked in you, like the students that would be in the next building coming out with their paintings, and you say, what are they doing? Do they teach this here?
It was to me, it was something that I would see every day going to practice. Students drawing outside, and I said, well, it's beautiful, I wish I could
do that.
Yeah, I mean, but I had no idea that it was towards a degree.
Yes. So later in life, you started working for the El Paso Times. What were you doing there at the time?
Yes, after graduation, I worked for the Times and the Herald Post as an advertising public relations.
Making a lot of money?
You make money at that time. That time we have the monopoly here. It was only very few TV stations and the paper and Juarez and Las Cruces. We had it all. And then Gannett came in and bought out the NPC, the Times. But nevertheless, in 1977, 78, I had thoughts about pursuing my love, which was which by that time I had already got my degree in fine arts.
Yes, so you would change.
But it was hard because I was married by then, so I had to raise a family.
Yes.
And in August of 77, that life came to an end.
Yes.
And so I found myself alone, but with another chance at life. So I walked in to my advertising director and I said, give my 2 weeks notice, I'm going to be an artist, full-time artist. And of course, they were all...
They thought you were crazy.
oh, definitely. They even suggested I go see a psychiatrist, the company psychiatrist.
Is that so?
And I said, no, because if I do, I've done it now and I'm going to do it.
Is that so?
So that's been, almost 20 years now.
And now you're doing such wonderful things with your talent.
Thank God for that. But between 78 to today, it hasn't been as beautiful as it looks. It's been a struggle.
Yes. But you pursued what your inner talents.
Yes, and there's times that I almost gave up. But it was that faith that you have to have in yourself and in your work, and of course God.
Yes.
You cannot give up. I was offered a job in San Antonio as an advertising director for a Mexican-American newspaper, which I turned down because I knew that I wasn't going to give up. Because I set a timetable of 5 years.
And they say that artists are never recognized in their own time, are in their own place.
And that's true. But then again, I get a lot of students from here, from the community college, that go to my shows or they know me and we talk. And I have to emphasize very strong that to be a professional artist in the fine arts, you have to do it because this is what you love to do.
Yes.
You love to express the beauty that God has to the people.
Yes, and move them.
Yes, not for money, not for fame.
Yes.
If you're out for money, forget it.
Yes.
They won't let you
in the pearly gates.
You might make it fast. Some artists that do make success very fast.
Let's look at some of this that we're talking about, your style. Let's look at this first painting. Tell me about it. It's a little baby.
Okay, as I said earlier, the problems that I had through the years having to show here in El Paso is that I am what I call the continuation of a group of artists who were called the Independents.
Is that?
In 1874. Monet, Pissarro, Sisley.
Beautiful.
And their objective was to be free to paint using color and light.
Yes.
And let it all blend together.
Yes.
Okay, it's not realism, even though that's where it came from. Today we know this style as Impressionism.
Impressionism. Yes.
But with me, as I said, and they said it themselves, was the experimentation of color. Because we have to remember that this is the time of the tube of paint.
That's right.
Okay, before then, the artists had to mix and prepare their paint.
And who is this child in the
Okay,
painting?
this one here is a portrait of Cristiana. She's the granddaughter of a friend, very good friend of mine, Silvia Rios. And that's her portrait.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And as you can see, it's not done realism. The colors are, some people ask me, I don't see those colors. Of course you don't, because I see them and you don't.
Okay, well, let's look at the next one. We've got about 3 minutes left. Would you believe? Time flies here at Mature Living. Oh, and who is this? This is
this is called a flower maker. It's an old lady doing flowers.
Oh, yes.
And again, that's very Impressionism. Impressionism is, you look at it from a distance to appreciate the colors. From up close, it doesn't do justice for it.
Beautiful, just a beautiful painting. And that fits so well with our culture, the flower lady. That's beautiful. Let's go to the next one now.
And the next one, it's a landscape. It's a landscape, and it's called My Great-Grandparents' Home.
Oh, ranchito.
Yes,
That's beautiful, just beautiful.
And in all this, as I said, it was hard for me to exhibit here in El Paso.
Yes.
And that maybe one of these days we can sit together and I can talk to you why. Okay, it would be very interesting. But
tell me about the students also that you teach.
I teach at Father Guillermo High School. I teach art, art history.
Art history, okay.
And sculpture.
Okay.
And pastel. And we had a show a year ago, this coming November, at the Camino Real. And of course, to them, it was a once in a lifetime.
Oh.
To have their exhibit.
You bet.
At the Camino Real with a first-class environment.
Wonderful, with first-class pieces
with a string quartet playing.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, it was so impressive that the Juarez Museum of Art, the PRONAF, which is now Bellas Artes, took the show over to Juarez, and we had it there the following month.
Gosh.
Now, all this before time runs out, I just want to, with all my heart, thank Mrs. Schwartz and Mr. Roberto Henrique of the Camino Real.
Yes.
Without them, for artists here in El Paso, and this is 3 years, and every month there's a show. We wouldn't have the opportunity to show at a first-class environment. When I say that, I mean you go there and you see waiters in white coats and gloves with a champagne and wine.
Yes. So it's very special to the artists that are showing.
Invitations.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And what's the beautiful this is that the Camino Real does not keep any profits.
Isn't that wonderful?
Everything is given to the artist.
That's wonderful. Gosh, and what advice would you give our senior citizens or the people watching about art? I know that you've said one thing, and I've got to have you back. As a matter of fact, we might keep you here so we can do a little more talking. But you said that you really aren't supposed to be here for some reason. There's been a lot of things that have happened in your life that has transformed you, or something has happened to you that brought you to this point.
Yes, as I said earlier, the fine arts, there's a difference between the fine arts and commercial art, or an art teacher, art education. This is my livelihood, oil paints, so I have to sell. And Father Guillermo, I'm just part-time there, which was a blessing. That's one of the things 6 years ago, another time period. Well, let me go back.
We ran out of time. What we'll do is we'll invite you back. How's that?
Yes,
because they're just telling me the show's over, Mary. But we will. Mr. Alberto Escamiila, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
We'll continue talking.
Please.
We'll be back.
Hello, I'm Mary Yanez, Director of the Senior Adult Program, here on Mature Living and EPCC TV, reminding you that the Senior Adult Program offers a variety of classes that seniors 55 years and older can take. And you can call us at 915-831-7801, and we hope to hear from you soon.
When you don't keep your eyes on what you're doing, it can be downright dangerous to you and others, especially when you're behind the wheel. Put your phone down. Heads up, Texas.
It's understandable to be overwhelmed if you're trying to manage your diabetes on your own. So don't. Know you've got people in your life who want to help. How do you build that support network? Start with your healthcare team. Your doctor can help you build your team, which may include connections to diabetes educators, dietitians, and other specialists. Talk with your family and friends, share your goals with them, and ask for their support. Talk with someone you trust or a mental health professional to help you work through emotions you may experience. Find others who are going through their diabetes journey as well. There are support communities available with folks just like you ready to share their stories. Visit knowdiabetesbyheart.org to hear from our ambassadors. Remember, you're not alone.
Hi, my name is Yvette Lugo. I'm the Director for the Area Agency on Aging. Our mission is to try to help older adults stay as independent and in the communities for as long as possible, as well as helping to support family caregivers in their role as caring for their aging loved ones. Our agency offers a variety of services and supports that can help in a variety of situations, everything from basic information and referral to help in the home. We encourage you to please call our office at 533-0998 so that we can try to assist you with your needs. Thank you.
That was a very nice interview with Alberto Escamiila and good memories. We want to continue our show, and thank you for staying with us, with an interview with Nancy Green. This was in around 2000. We interviewed Nancy Green during Women's History Month, and so we had a great conversation with her. And you know, going down memory lane really brings back good memories, and we hope you enjoy this one because it's March and it's International Women's Month, and so we want you to enjoy this interview, taking you down memory lane.
It is a great personal honor for me to be around this wonderful woman, Nancy Lorenza Green, who was honored last year with the Homenaje a la Mujer Award. And she's so active. She does so many wonderful things for this community. And I want you to meet her. She's also very talented. And so, Nancy, thank you for being with us and for accepting my invitation to come talk about a lot of things.
Thank you for inviting me, Mary.
A lot of different things. First, I want to talk a little bit about the Love Conference we just held for the senior citizens, and you were a presenter and your experience with the seniors.
It was a beautiful experience because the elders are so special. They are the pillars of our community. They hold the wisdom and the knowledge of many generations, and they were right there, presentes. You did a wonderful job, and your staff did a wonderful job of coordinating the conference itself, organizing it in a way that opened up the forums for the elders to express themselves, to be there, and to gain even more knowledge and information. Mm-hmm. It was a wonderful experience.
It was so awesome. We had English and Spanish workshops, and we had about 400 seniors, I want you to know, attend that conference. But there's other things that you do. You're working on a very special program that I want to talk about first, and then we'll talk about mother-daughter program and all that. But let's talk about International Women's Day. It's a celebration. Tell me why we should celebrate the International Women's Day.
International Women's Day began back in the 1800s. In 1857, there were a group of women garment workers in New York City who protested conditions, their working conditions, they were awful. Similar to what is going on in many parts of the world now, a lot of the sweatshops, inhumane treatment of the workers themselves. And so when they protested, they were attacked by the police. This got a lot of media coverage, and eventually it picked up, the campaign picked up at an international level, to the point where the United Nations stepped in many years later and declared International Women's Day. The fact that on March 8th of 1857, a group of women decided to say enough is enough, and they took to the streets and they confronted the authorities, is what is partially being celebrated. But in many other fronts, we as women have made a lot of accomplishments, but at the same time, we're also facing a lot of barriers, women of all ages. Issues like childcare, unequal pay, violence against women are still issues that confront us every single day. Here in Juarez, the fact that young women, factory workers, are being systematically slaughtered, systematically murdered, is a major issue. International Women's Day, the cultural program itself, is about a celebration of our uniqueness and the contributions that women have made to the society. It's a very positive portrayal, but at the same time acknowledging that we have a lot of work to do, and we need to work hand in hand with the men in our community to make sure that the entire society evolves to a higher level.
As we work with elders, women, children, I would suppose that we should adopt a mission, a philosophy of human rights, and always have that in the forefront of our lives, of our involvement, and celebrating International Women's Day is a part of that. You're going to have guests. You're going to have a dinner. What is the forum going to be like for March the 8th? And where is it going to be? We haven't even told them.
It's going to be at UTEP, the Conquistador Lounge. The Women's Resource Center is sponsoring the event in collaboration with a number of organizations, including the EPCC Senior Adult Program, the Mother-Daughter Program, Sisters Worth Knowing, Centro Mujeres de la Esperanza, La Mujer Obrera. We have an array of artists that are going to be coming in. One of the things that's going to be very unique about the celebration is that different organizations have been invited to create banners depicting positive images of women. And so there will be, at the start of the celebration, a parade of banners, and they will be used to decorate the space that we create, a sacred space. There will be you will be our honored guest and will give us an explanation of the meaning of International Women's Day from your perspective. You as a very respected leader in this community, we felt that we wanted to invite you to do that.
Gosh, I don't know if I can do that very well.
I'm sure
but
you
we
will.
sure try and represent all of us well.
Yes.
All of us.
And then we have a number of artists, Tony Fuentes. We have La Mujer Obrera Choir that will be singing.
Is that so?
Yeah. We have Maite Lara, who's also a singer. Kathy Gardner, who works with Congressman Silvestre Reyes. She's a wonderful singer. Shirley Giles, who's a storyteller. Yes. I hope I'm not forgetting anyone, but the Folklorico.
I hope not. The Folklorico Cristo Rey, Lupe Frescas will be directing a performance.
So there will be their presence will make the event very special as well. Alejandrina Drew will be reading some of her poetry. She's the Director of Arts Resources. Rhonda Seward is an excellent poet here from El Paso. Yours truly, I'll be accompanying Yvette Cabella, who is from the Republic of the Congo, is a professional choreographer and dancer, and will be performing that evening. It's a 2-hour program.
And it's a coming together, isn't it?
It sure is.
And it's a spiritual thing, too. I know you're very spiritual, and you teach us.
Well, I'm always learning from the energy that we all share with each other. The spiritual circle that evening will be facilitated or directed by Mujeres de la Esperanza.
How wonderful. Sister Ida Mersheim, and of course there's other people that work with Imelda Garcia.
All the women from Centro Mujeres de la Esperanza. They will conduct what will be a ceremony that is inclusive of the participants.
Nancy, where can people call if they wish to come to this celebration? It will be entertaining, it will be spiritual, it will be moving, it will be a lot of things for all of us. It will be energizing, you know, to keep us working out in the community. Where can they call?
The UTEP Women's Resource Center. Luz Marquez is the coordinator, and the number there is 747-5291.
Wonderful. Tell me a little bit about your real work, because this is community coming together. What are you doing?
Currently, I'm the coordinator of the Mother-Daughter program at UTEP, working with Dr. Josie Tinajero.
Wonderful
who-
woman.
Yes, she founded the program 14 years ago. Next year will be our 15th year, so we're going to have a big celebration for quinceañera.
Oh my
Mother-daughter.
goodness, that's wonderful.
Over 2,000 young women have participated in the program. Not just the young women, but their mothers.
Yes.
The Mother-Daughter program focuses on 6th grade girls and their moms from families where no one has attended college. And the idea is to make, the purpose of the program is to provide support, information, and resources to the girls and their moms so that the girls will go on into higher education, the moms too. The idea is to have the mom be the role model for her daughter. And we're finding that it is working.
And I understand, and we have about 30 seconds left, and I want you to play for us, but we're working on the daddies too, and the fathers and the sons, right?
It's a father-son component to make sure that the entire family is involved.
Oh, why don't you lead us out in celebration and in honor of International Women's Day, and March is also International Women's Month.
Correct.
Do it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy.
Every so often, we're going to be taking you down memory lane because we started in 1991, and that's about 33 years ago from today, 2024. And so we're going to be taking you down memory lane every so often. We hope you've enjoyed our show today, and we'll see you all next week.